What's up, guys, and welcome to the very first episode of First and Last. I'm Josh, and I'm with Joe.
Hey.
And Jimmy.
Hello.
And we are going to watch some TV and talk about it. So, kind of the basis of this podcast, so everyone can get on board with it, is we are going to watch the very first episode of a TV show, and then the very last episode of a TV show. And we're going to kind of take a break in the middle between the first and the last one to talk about what happened and what we think is going to happen. And then we're going to watch the last one and find out how horribly wrong or possibly 1 in a million that we're right. But I don't think we're going to be right. Mostly wrong.
And some shows we've seen, some shows we haven't. Hopefully a mix.
Yeah, I kind of think the base rule that we're going to do is at least like whoever is like here, at least as long as like one person has like very little knowledge of the show, it's going to be good. I mean, obviously we can't do it. It's like, we've all seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really going to work. Like, we're going to watch it. I'm excited for an eventual Lost episode.
Ooh.
Because no one understands what happened in that show, even if you've seen all of it.
I never made it all the way through.
I've seen a little bit of the middle and then the very last episode.
When it first came out, and we're not watching Lost, by the way, today. But
yeah, skip ahead if you're not interested.
But when it first came out, I watched like the very first episode, and I think I saw the first season, and then I saw the finale. Like, that was it. Mm-hmm. It's like I was with somebody, and they were like, hey, the Lost season finale's on, and we're gonna watch it. And I was like, I don't know what that show's about anymore. There's a smoke thing, right?
Yeah, there's a smoke thing.
And that was it.
There is?
Oh. There's a smoke monster.
I just remember an island.
He makes like noises and whatever. Well, anyway, today we're talking about
nanobots. Spoiler alert.
It's I don't think that's
spoilers for Lost on the Frasier podcast.
You don't even know. And yes, Joe. Okay, today we're gonna watch Frasier.
Speaking of spoilers.
Today we're watching Frasier.
Frasier.
And we're gonna be talking about that. So we kind of looked it up. Frasier went for 11 seasons, which is what did you just say about it, Joe? You didn't think you were conscious about it?
Yeah, well, like, we were looking up how many viewers it had for the finale, and apparently it had 33 million viewers in 2004, and I was just like, I remember watching TV in 2004, and I had no idea that, like, Frasier was ending or that Frasier was on TV when I was in high school.
2004 is when people watched TV.
Yeah.
Because, I mean...
Well, the 90s is when people watched TV.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's not like I was watching Netflix in 2004.
Like, I remember the Seinfeld
Every person
ending
watching
being a big
TV
deal.
in 2004 was watching Frasier. At that moment. In the United States.
There was only... I heard there was only 34 million people in the United States, and 33.7 of them watched Frasier. So...
The other 300,000 people were just, like, boning.
I just want to know, like,
I got a good mixture of people were boning and watching Frasier at the same time.
Yeah, there's some overlap.
That's probably like a really good way to actually like watch the end of a show and like always think good of the show.
That's a whole different podcast where Josh has sex and watches a TV show.
That's a very different.
It's actually just a really quiet, shameful sounding podcast.
Sounds like a Seinfeld episode. Is that on the list?
Oh, they listen to me have sex. That's my Seinfeld. Is that a good Seinfeld?
Yeah, that's good enough. Good enough. Okay, so Frasier.
What do you know about Frasier, Jimmy?
What I know about Frasier is Kelsey Grammer, and he likes ham and eggs or something like that.
He hears the blues of Colin. Yeah. He tossed salads.
And then, for some reason, because of that food, he makes him hungry. The blues.
Fair enough.
But no, he's from it's a spin-off. The show's a spin-off from Cheers.
This is what I've heard.
What
of
else?
Which Frasier was a character.
I've never watched. I never really watched like
recurring character.
Cheers. The only thing I really know about Cheers is Jim and Diane. What's his name?
Sam
and Diane.
Sam and Diane.
That's what I know about Cheers.
A little ditty.
But Frasier's a psychiatrist, and he has a radio show
called The Frasier Show.
Is it?
No, I have no idea. We'll find out.
And he has a brother.
He's got a brother, Niles.
And they're both very pretentious.
Yep.
And wealthy white men. So this show is just about the 90s.
Yeah, okay.
They have a dad who's funny.
Yeah.
And he's got a dog, and they have, at some point, I know there's a British lady that Niles is in love with, and I think for the 90s, she was probably a very attractive woman.
Daphne.
Yeah.
Daphne.
Yeah, Daphne.
We'll be the judge of that.
We'll see if she holds up.
See if she holds up. That
We're
and we'll be back after we watch the first episode. So we're gonna watch that one, and we'll try to figure out if we know anything about Frasier.
Scrambled eggs all over my face.
All right, we are back, and we just finished episode 1.
did it.
Finished. Who's got first thoughts and concerns, questions, whatever?
I've like
I feel like you're in it, Joe.
Yeah, I've
You're-
got like one big
you're deep
overall
in
thought
it.
is that I've never, not that I've never seen Frasier, but I was too young to understand it when I'd seen it as a kid, and like this time watching it through, like that was really funny. Like I would watch this show. Like I was expecting to like kind of scoff at it and think it was kind of dumb or like very 90s or
Sure.
something, but like
Mhm.
I laughed a lot
Oh,
at a lot
man.
of those jokes. Like I would be interested to watch the rest of the show.
I was
for a
ready
while.
to roll right into episode 2.
That's true, but we had to stop.
That's not the show. It's not first,
it's not
second,
what,
and
it's not
last.
what we do here. You can watch episode 2 when you get home by yourself later.
Oh man.
But I think right away I totally thought, I think this is the only show that the laugh track actually was accurate.
Yeah.
The laugh track
Yeah.
was like, this is
Those
actually
are
funny.
funny jokes.
Yep. Okay.
But
But also, the drama. I don't know if we're gonna maybe get to this later. The drama turned on a dime.
oh yeah, real
It
quick.
was like we're laughing, we're having a good time, and then all of a sudden, oh dang, the show just got serious.
Yeah, it did get really
and
serious.
but it brings you with.
It hit a heavy climax. It was episode 1. Like it set a precedent. Like the show's gonna be fucking funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it like was like this
Gonna
is
pull the
serious.
But it
hearts.
could be serious,
Gonna pull the
too.
heartstrings.
It's a very good pilot episode.
It was a
That's
really
true.
good pilot.
True.
One thing that I noticed this time through, in difference to when I'd seen it as a kid, is I always thought that they were British because of the way that they talk. Like Niles and
Wait, oh, you thought they were all British?
well, like
they're
because
so
of Niles,
pretentious.
yeah, because of the way Niles and what's his name, Frasier?
Frasier.
Yeah, Crane, yeah.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Is his name Frasier?
I thought like Frasier was his
Like
last
a-
name, but I'm realizing now it's Frasier Crane.
It's not like Home
Right.
Improvement where it's like
The
Wilson
Cranes.
Wilson. His name's not Frasier.
Frasier,
The
Niles,
Cranes.
and
I always thought that they were
Father
like
Martin
British,
Crane.
but like no, they were like brought up in Seattle. They just like talk pretentiously.
Yeah. It's
That's-
yeah, it's
They
very
talk
much
really
like a
fast.
working class versus.
That's the whole point of the whole show. It's like working class dad, pretentious sons.
I just remember it being a lot. I think it was just too fast for me to understand as a kid. Like they talk so fast, the jokes come so fast, and I'm just like, I don't know what they're saying. They must be British.
There was definitely some words that Frasier said that I still, as an adult, did not understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, now I'm remembering this show and not knowing what's going on.
You know Daphne's British though, right?
Yes.
You know she is actually British.
I wrote
did
down that she
mention
is.
that.
I
very
heard
cocky.
she said she was
Oh,
from
yeah.
Manchester at some point.
Oh yeah.
Also, just number 1, I didn't know that the show goes by chapters, which I thought that was really fun.
I
remember that, but
I didn't remember that at all.
I remembered that as it was going because I thought because it says it didn't even say the good son, which is the title of the episode. It just went right into
Right away,
whatever
I thought we
chapter
were like
one
not
was.
watching the episode. The title,
Yeah,
it's called
it's
The Good Son,
confusing.
and then the first thing on
First thing
screen
you
said
see.
The Job,
yeah.
which is the chapter.
And I thought it's like the good son isn't that the Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin movie where Elijah
Yeah.
Wood's a
Oh,
piece of
yeah.
shit and
doesn't
killing
one of them kill
everybody?
the other or something?
He's-
Or-
he's
I think
trying to
I
murder
think Macaulay Culkin's
Macaulay
just an
Culkin.
evil child the whole time.
No, Elijah Wood's the evil
Oh,
child.
Elijah Wood's the evil one?
Yeah.
Oh. I should probably watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's just playing out way differently in my head right now.
Elijah was just killing people, and Josh is like, "That's the good son."
And I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Super for
Just
it.
cheering for him.
He's like creepy, like he's creepy in the movie Sin City. I think he grows up to be that character.
It's a prequel.
I kind of thought maybe
Kinda
like
came
he was
out
the
way
good
before.
Which I'm
son.
realizing right now.
Macaulay Culkin was learning how to set traps
Correct.
for Home Alone or something.
Exactly.
But Daphne called she was grabbing her boobies when we first saw her, and she called her hand inside of her shirt the biscuit tin,
Biscuit tin.
which, sorry ladies, but I'm gonna use that at some point. May I have a look inside your biscuit tin?
Maybe that's just what they call bras in the Frasier world. The brasiers in the Frasier's world.
Frasier.
The brassiere and the brassiere.
Biscuit. Maybe it's a world issue.
The biscuit tin.
That's
That's the title of this episode, by the way.
Daphne is awesome.
First and last, episode 1, Frasier - the biscuit tin. So
I like it. I like a lot of good punctuation.
before we move on to predictions, do we have anything? Joe? You have so much written down. So.
Yeah, they're all just random notes. Like I have Roz is a babe.
Oh yes.
Okay.
So
Shoot, I can't get behind this that 90s low hanging weird tan
T-shirt,
vest.
Oh, the vest, yeah.
There were
a lot of 90s was all about vests. So Roz is the news. What is she to? She's like the Paul Schaefer to the. I don't know how else to say it to Letterman.
She's like the
producer of his radio show. Yeah. She's a babe and she's awesome.
We totally forgot to bring her up before the first episode.
I totally forgot about her.
I forgot that she even existed.
She's hilarious in this episode. Mm-hmm. And a huge character within the show, for sure.
I mean, one of my favorite parts about this episode was the Lupe Velez story.
Yeah,
that she
her
told.
little,
mm-hmm.
a little anecdote at the end.
Oh, is Lupe Velez a real person? Did we figure this out?
I don't. I bet.
There's
right. She's got to be a real human.
I guess.
I guess she doesn't.
I bet that story is made up, but I bet it's a real person.
Another.
Do you think they made up a toilet death story about a real person?
Yeah.
That's even
she's
worse.
What was it? She's on death row, but before she makes it, her last meal that she requested killed her, basically. So the irony of the story.
Maria Guadalupe Villalobos Velez, known professionally as Lupe Velez. She died in 1944.
No way.
And does it say how she?
Is there
a
myth?
There's a thing on
Myth
Wikipedia.
of death.
She consumed 70 Seconal pills and a glass of brandy. Her secretary found her actress's body on her bed later that morning. A suicide note addressed to Harold was found nearby. So this whole thing. So it was
because there'd be no way for them
crock.
to know her intentions if she did die at the toilet.
Yeah,
this is true. So yeah, in the show it says that she tried to die. Why would she? How are people going to remember if she died? Just people just remember that a celebrity died.
Actress had a
she did her hair
death.
and makeup, and she wanted to be super beautiful.
Okay. I missed that.
But then in the show, Roz told Kramer that she died because she was gonna vomit. Is she trying to vomit then?
I assumed
she
must what she meant, but I don't know.
Okay, but either way, she died with her head in the toilet.
Yeah.
Apparently, Lupe Velez is a real person, but she just died on her bed.
She could have been trying to purge the pills. I don't know. Who knows?
So apparently half of that story is true. You were 100% correct, Joe. I'm sorry, I take it back. They did take a real human and make a really shitty story out of him.
Lupe was good. I thought that was just a weird porn name that they just made up. I didn't think that it was a real person at all. That's good to know.
A really weird 90s porn name. Just Lupe Velez.
I mean, I don't know. It sounded made up to me.
It did sound made up. All right, so
I'm looking at other notes I had. Did we talk about Eddie? Eddie the dog. We mentioned the dog. I thought the way they did Eddie in this was awesome because they alluded for a while that it was just some guy, a friend of the dad that was gonna move in.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
With Frasier, because the whole thing is that the dad is he can't live on his own anymore. He has to do some sort of he would have to do some sort of assisted living or else move in with Frasier. And then he's like, oh, you got to bring this other guy too. And he says he's weird, and he just stares at him. And then the next scene is just the dog staring at him. It's so good.
Yeah, and then it cuts to the next scene after that, and that's just it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the chapter didn't change. I thought they missed a beat by not changing the chapter. They should have changed the chapter.
Yeah.
I wish that Eddie chapter would have been literally 4 seconds long. 4 seconds. It would have been amazing. The dog.
The cute little dog
just the dog looking at it.
Sitting on the couch, on his seemingly nice couch.
Now, as we go into the final episode, what are some predictions of anything?
Well, maybe let's sum up what we know about Frasier and his world as of this first episode. So Frasier just moved to Seattle to start a new life because he divorced his wife.
They were getting a divorce.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because Cheers is supposed to be in upstate New York.
It was in Boston.
Boston.
Because he even said he moved from Boston.
Okay, got it. I couldn't.
This is 6 months after
I'm
he
not-
moved away from Boston.
Okay.
Dying.
Mm-hmm. And then
Other
his
coast.
world gets turned upside down when his brother Niles tells him that their father can't live on his own and needs to either be put in assisted living, or they settle on him moving in with Frasier. And then they
Niles was also in some sort of rocky marriage, apparently. With Maris. We heard a lot about Maris this whole episode, but never saw her.
Yeah. And then
We might go through this whole show not seeing Maris.
I
feel like that might be like a recurring joke where they talk about Maris and then never see Maris.
Yeah. Well, I think isn't there a thing, and maybe this gets into predictions. I think Niles becomes like in love with Daphne, and maybe he is still with Maris when that happens.
So that's what I was gonna say. Is the last thing that we picked up in this episode is that they hire Daphne, who's a Cockney British nurse, essentially.
Psychic.
Yeah, she's
no nonsense, but
she's
also
super
weird.
fun. She's definitely not on like Frasier's level, or she might be like as smart as Frasier, but like at just like very like
she's street smart as
street
smart as Frasier.
Yeah, it's a good counterbalance to Frasier and Niles.
What was she? She's like a home keeper /
specialist.
physical therapist.
Yeah, she got some
seems like
therapy background.
A very different schooling required. Maybe England's different.
Well, but she's working in the United States. Like she needs to have
but maybe
not in the 90s.
In the 90s, things were different. Physical therapy was just becoming a thing, maybe.
Right. Based on this, I don't want any of these people to date Daphne because I think she's too good for all of them.
Probably. That's probably not going to happen. So that's everything from the first episode.
Martin.
So
maybe Dad Martin.
Oh man, I think that gets down to that's a weird rabbit hole.
Okay, too weird.
Weird.
Should we get into predictions and random speculation?
Yeah.
Were we not there yet?
We're there.
We're there now.
We're there. We're going back and forth.
I have that Eddie is either dead or gone by the time we get into the last episode.
I mean, he already looks like he doesn't look like an old dog, but he's like a middle-aged dog, and that's 11 years.
Yeah.
11 seasons.
He's dead. I think so. I mean, I don't know if we can prove this, but for sure that real-life dog's probably dead.
For sure.
We can look that up.
Yeah. They're for sure they used multiple dogs. Do
you think they have a different dog? I think they just mourn Eddie, no new dog?
I think they just mourn Eddie and move on.
Specific dog though.
I think it's hard to just have a dog in a show.
Clearly, like a miniature mix of some mutt, which would be hard to fake.
Just paint it. Just paint some.
Just paint a new dog.
Hold its eyes and mouth.
Eddie just looks.
Spray paint this dog.
Eddie looks
like
wildly
the last
different
dog.
week to week. Just spray paint it.
Yeah, we're missing the inside
but
joke.
It's certainly
Eddie's
not like
a different
pure
dog
breed.
every week. Like,
it's certainly not
really
like a
highbrow
purebred
comedy show, but for some reason Eddie's just different every single week.
Yeah. I also have that the chair that the dad brings in is either dead or gone.
Okay.
Dad's comfy chair. I like
You're
that.
just trying to destroy your prediction is just destroying the dad's world.
No,
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I think he needs.
I think the chair stays.
I think
he
that
needs
chair.
to leave Boston behind.
I think the chair outlives us all.
I think that chair could. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
going strong right now, somewhere in Seattle. You can go sit on it.
I think Frasier is remarried to a different person, and I don't think everybody lives. Like, whoever's in the apartment, what is it? Frasier, Daphne, and Martin are all in the apartment right now. I don't think they're all in that apartment anymore.
Okay.
So I think it still primarily takes place within that apartment, but I think that somebody's out. Maybe I don't think Martin. I don't think the dad's dead. But maybe Daphne. Daphne's not their personal care attendant. She's just their best friend now.
I
like that. Yep.
So that's what I'm going with, and then, Niles and Roz are still there
because Niles and Daphne get married.
Oh, you think they're married? Or do you know this?
I'm gonna say that. That's my prediction
Okay.
for this last episode or about to watch. I think they are.
Even
married.
in the last episode, Niles didn't even meet Daphne.
No, he didn't. Did he?
Oh, really? Huh?
They were never in the same room at all.
Because she was only in the last 4 minutes of that episode. The whole last 4 minutes was just Daphne's being hired.
In no way do I think there's a Frasier Daphne love thing, because I don't think he can stand her, and I don't think they would change that. I think he's
but
fine
that plays
with her.
well on TV, where like
Yeah,
they're so different.
love,
but
and especially if Niles does have a fling with her, then the love triangle is great TV.
Sure.
ooh.
Well,
I think I was kind of thinking a like girl guy love triangle. Like I don't know which Crane
what?
brother, but like I think maybe either maybe Niles is caught between Roz and Daphne, or maybe Fraser himself is caught between.
You think they're
Between Niles?
between Niles.
Niles,
and Daphne.
I'm pretty sure Niles is. Well, we want. He doesn't need to.
What?
He's like he was like
What?
it was a big deal. He was like married to
Yeah.
a man.
Who was?
In real life.
Niles in real life. David Hyde
Oh.
Pierce.
Oh, okay.
And it was a big deal because then what is it called? Prospect 8 or I don't know what. There's a law that then made it illegal. Like
Of course.
specifically like worded in like California.
It made it illegal for David
And
Hyde
he-
Pierce
and they
to
were
be
saying-
dating.
Just David Hyde Pierce.
Anyone
it was
can
a
get married
specific
but David
law.
Hyde.
That's
Pierce.
a really.
It was a very Bush senior
It's
law.
it's like in a way it's an amazingly like good like law. California, like back in the day, all people can get married but David Hyde Pierce, but only him to a man. Very interesting law.
Anyway,
Very interesting.
um,
Is anyone think the dad's dead?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Based on the picture of the
That's just the picture of the show.
yeah, it could be.
I bet the last episode had like kind of deals with him having health problems or something.
Well, the fact that he lives for 11 years after having to not being able
Not
to
being
live by
alone.
himself.
Yeah.
I kind of also think that maybe like potentially Niles or I was gonna say Niles or Frasier, but I think Frasier's still totally in Seattle because it's just where it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like maybe somebody just doesn't live in that city anymore.
Well,
Maybe they're visiting.
That's Kimmy Schmidt. Now. That's very not what I expected to look at. But the whole the graphic of the show is like the Seattle scene.
Right. I mean, yeah, it takes place. So that's
cityscape.
why I think Frasier still definitely lives there, but maybe somebody else doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe his dad lives in heaven. I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead.
You
don't-
I don't think he's dead. I don't think anyone dies. It's a sitcom. People don't
Okay,
die.
if we all think he's
Yeah,
alive, do
nobody
we
dies
think
in
he's
sitcoms.
dead by the end of the episode? I think he's dead by the end of the episode.
Oh no! I think this is
That would be intense.
You think it ends
30
sad?
33 million people watch to see.
Yeah.
If that's what's gonna happen.
I bet. But I also bet that like Frasier does like a big like at the end of this episode he did like a big like speech with his last call that like kind of sums up the theme of the episode.
I could see the show ending with him in his radio studio, like talking. Like,
yeah,
that's
giving
the
a talk
end.
like that. To
like a
sum up the
Frasier,
show.
a Frasier monologue.
Yes,
Like,
that for
very
sure ends the
dramatic.
show.
Okay. I
Like
that.
he's like, oh no, calling it.
he's
I know
signing
it
off.
already. I don't know anything about the whole show besides the last part. The last part is exactly what you said. It's going to be him in his radio studio. His radio show is going to be ending.
Yeah.
And he's going to be talking to everybody like, hey, the radio show's over. It's been a great 11 years.
Uh-huh.
And he's going to say goodbye to us as the viewers through the radio show.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying you know this? Or
No.
This is your
This is my
predicting?
For sure.
prediction.
For sure.
I know
Okay.
this because it's going to happen. But I don't know this because I've
90s
seen
sitcoms are predictable.
Because this is just how a show's going to end. Yeah. It's not 90s.
90s
It's just sitcoms.
Well,
If the Big
yeah,
Bang, if the Big Bang Theory
sitcoms.
was had to do with a radio studio, this is how.
I
the
just
show
mean
would
like 90s
That's still
sitcoms
on, right?
specifically though, where like we have like every episode is like the same. Like this character has this. I'm thinking more.
I think Frasier's
Friends
a little bit
because
better.
every character has
Frasier's
their
better than I think.
dumb
Frasier,
joke they make.
Frasier digs deeper than Friends, because even when like Ross cheated on Rachel, or that I'm sure that happened, but like that was like still funny for some reason. Like
There's probably some drama. Well,
I
maybe
bet
we'll
this-
get there.
I
Maybe
bet
it's
this
in
first
the.
episode of Frasier had more drama in it than all of Friends.
Okay.
I bet it did. It was
You
so
got me
good.
there.
All right.
But my other prediction that I had
yeah.
that I already
Last
know
one?
is confirmed is that I wrote down that Daphne's hair changes.
Oh, we saw the picture. So the picture, it's the
Confirmed
picture
by-
on
the Netflix background.
the Netflix-
He
picture.
just had like a very like early '90s haircut, which was like
Heavy on the bangs. I don't know what's
yeah,
early
it
90s.
had like a scrunchy ponytail type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Daphne's hair. I think everyone's style changed
Mm-hmm.
throughout. Their style
Mine
changed
won-
in Seinfeld. Like, you know, over the, it's like,
Yeah.
of course it's going to change.
Yeah, right. Well, over 11 years.
All right, well, we've done enough. We've predicted.
I
Yeah.
think that's all I've got on
Moving
My-
on.
23 minutes of Frasier.
My only prediction was that Kelsey Grammer cut his long, weird Cheers leftover hair where he's like balding, but he
It's
has
like mullet locks.
a weird mullet.
I'm going to predict you're absolutely wrong. On to episode 2.
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
That
And maybe I see
was balls.
Yes, it was, Jimmy. And we are back after watching last episode. Holy crap.
Oh, man.
Solid reactions all around, I believe.
So this one is interesting because it's a two-parter, which we watched just the second part of.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
it
that's
starts,
it. It's its own separate episode on its own separate week, so we kind of decided that it was officially the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if it was a two-parter, but it was in the same
It's
night.
a sitcom. There was a previously on. which
Yeah.
gave us-
So the way that worked is it was a previously on, but it was 2 episodes and they were on separate nights. So I would say if it was a two-parter going forward, for rule's sake, if it's a two-parter but it's on the same night, I kind of count that as one episode.
Sure.
But
yeah, if it's like an
but these
hour
were separate
special. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Which surprises me.
I am actually a little watching that, knowing nothing about the middle of the show. I actually am surprised that only 33 million people watched that.
That was awesome.
Because they got robbed. Because this is great.
I looked up 52 million watched the last Friends episode, so.
We just found out so much in like that first like 30-second like last time on Frasier thing. Like, we found out like
That we
Frasier
never...
and Daphne
Nope.
Niles and Daphne are married, and they like lost a ring for some sort of wedding in the dog.
For the dad's wedding,
For
and the
the
dog
dad's
ate
wedding.
it,
Yeah.
but not Eddie, or was it Eddie? It
No,
was Eddie.
It was Eddie. No way that was the real dog. That
man,
is the
I don't
oldest
know.
dog in the world.
Yeah. 11 years.
11
man.
years?
It wasn't 0 in episode 1 of
Yeah.
Frasier.
It also
but
wasn't
it
a
could've been
puppy.
It
one.
looked like an old dog in
could-
Frasier.
Mm-hmm.
It
Episode
could
1.
have just been the... Well, we might
I had to
have
say
In
episode 1.
Frasier.
Episode 1. I had to say that because I realized that the whole thing's Frasier.
In Frasier 1.
I'm gonna
Frasier
look it up.
1.
I'm gonna try to look it up.
Not Frasier 264 or whatever we just watched.
And then Daphne's pregnant.
Pregnant?
Full on pregnant with Niles' kid, which we were like speculating whether they like date or not.
So,
But by the
My
end,
prediction
they're
was that
married
they
and
were
have a
married.
child.
So, boom.
all right. I guess we're first and last scoreboard. Jimmy gets 1.
Fucking right.
So you'll walk through. So we, Laura Linney, apparently Frasier may or may not have been dating her.
We get just a
We
short.
don't even know her character name.
We get a 3-second clip of Frasier saying "Good luck in Chicago" to Laura Linney, and then they hug, and then that's it.
and that was on previously on Frasier.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like the biggest things for me from that like beginning part is like, first of all, Eddie's alive,
Yeah, right.
and Daphne's pregnant with Niles' child.
Yep. Well, right away I thought it was like a big thing that the dog ate a ring, so I thought that he ate their wedding ring.
Yeah, I thought it was Niles and Daphne's ring.
But he was eating the dad's wedding ring.
Uh-huh.
That's the same dog.
Really?
That's the same dog, bro.
Oh man.
Wait. What year did it end?
2004.
Can't be the same dog.
I'm telling you.
It says... Well,
That dog-
Wikipedia says
Wikipedia.
93 to 2000.
Yeah, that dog.
Okay.
That Eddie 1 is dead. That's Eddie 2.
Moose. His name was Moose.
Who, Eddie 1 or Eddie 2?
Eddie 1.
Okay, we'll find out what
But
Eddie...
he died. He didn't die until 2006. So originally, I thought, looking
Well,
at
he-
this,
You're looking
He
at
was
the Wikipedia for
15.
Moose.
Dogs
I
don't...
Wikipedia'd Moose.
Dogs don't act until they're dead.
Why? What else?
I
are
don't
they
know.
doing?
Look up Moose on IMDb.
I don't.
See what his other credits are.
I'm on his Wikipedia. What's the difference?
I wonder if on IMDb it has 2
If he
dogs
has credits.
for Eddie.
Oh, okay, I got it. I'll do that.
It should,
Where-
right?
Okay, yeah.
It was like the
All right.
5th main character in that show.
Okay.
So my prediction that Eddie was dead was false. My
Wait.
prediction that the chair was dead or gone.
False.
False.
Also false.
But then they got rid of it in that episode.
That's true.
I don't
because
count- I
because
don't know
he
if I can
moved
count
out
that.
because he moved in with his.
I want a first
Gold
and
digger
I want a
wife?
first
I
and
don't-
last point, so I feel like I want to give you 0.5 points for that
Okay.
because
that's fair.
the
Are you
chair,
writing this
the
down?
chair went away.
Daphne's hair
There
didn't
was a very
change.
specific removal of the chair.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
keeping. It was like, and he said like 11 years. Like
Yeah.
it's been there.
Oh, and
We've
one
been-
It was a thing. Yeah.
and one thing we didn't do that I thought about while we watched that is when that guy walked in, I did want to know whether or not that was the same guy. They brought the chair
who
and
brought the chair?
I
and
don't think it
removed
was
the chair.
at all.
Seems
It's
like
possible.
a silly thing to call back after 11
Seems a
years.
really silly thing, but kind of a fun
You know
little
what?
thing.
I would like it.
So,
But
okay.
I
Maybe it wasn't, maybe it
can't.
wasn't. Maybe the Ethernet
Who's to say?
can tell us.
Where? So okay. Where? Are we?
And then...
Did we
So Frasier decided to take a job. So I was completely wrong in my prediction that I thought everyone, like, people were gonna not live there anymore, and Frasier would be like the only one there.
Yeah.
While I was the
Oh,
exact
right.
inverse. Why everyone still lived there, and Frasier was the
Frasier
only one
took
moving.
a job in San Fran, supposedly.
Don't get ahead
And
of
I don't
yourself.
know if we want to get into this now.
But Frasier took a job, or at least he decided to take a job in San
man.
Francisco, which I thought was going to go very well with me because obviously I knew he was ending his show, but I was definitely wrong
Yeah,
about the fact
You were right
that
about that.
the ending. I was wrong on the ending. I was close. I was like 3 minutes
so
off,
close.
Yeah.
but I was close.
But you were kind of destroyed by this cliffhanger they left that made no sense, at least to us not having seen it. He said he said on the phone during the episode he's taking this job in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the plane in the very last scene, screwing Josh's prediction over,
Yep.
he says he's going to Chicago.
Well, the plane said like "Welcome to Chicago." That's what
Which-
the plane said.
That's the
Which-
last line.
also-
is "Welcome to Chicago."
So he's
He's not
obviously
going there.
so the whole an 11-year show ended in a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What? Which is
Also,
the reaction.
Also, because I got the impression, at least, because I guess we should know better, because when they say previously on something and they show something, that means it's technically important for
it's
the
important.
show.
Yeah.
That's true.
Which I kind of forgot.
And
I
they
didn't know they were
showed
smart enough
Laura
about
Linney. Is that how you say her name?
that. Yeah.
Which did not know she was ever on that show.
Oh yeah. No, that was new. We don't know her character's
And
name.
she just
like,
hugs him and says, "I'm going to Chicago." And the previously on, never see her the rest of the episode.
she's not
She's
in it.
gone.
we never actually saw
don't
her
hear
technically
anything
in an
about
episode.
her at all. They never even brought her up.
No.
Just in the last thing, the guy says, "Welcome to Chicago," and you have to connect the dots.
I did think it was kind of weird that they were going to end the show without Frasier having like a romantic subplot until that end where he ends up in Chicago, and I was like, oh, it does come back around, because now it makes me think that Laura Linney was some sort of
was a big
romantic interest. And,
She was probably a big deal throughout the seasons that we obviously did not
leading up
watch.
to
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Through the other 264
Which is
episodes
great.
or something.
yeah.
Which
Or
is
maybe he
great,
just has a
'cause,
stopover
Who doesn't
from-
love Laura Linney?
You know, he just has a stopover at O'Hare, going from Seattle to.
He said it was an hour flight from Seattle to San Francisco, and you think he flew from Seattle to Chicago?
He was
Had a stop
flying.
over there, then
he was
Chicago
flying
to-
Sun Country.
It would
He
help.
was flying Spirit.
It would help a
Airlines.
lot for this. And this is the best part of the show. First and last, not Frasier. Is that we have to. I assume she went to Chicago for a job or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seemed on the previously on Frasier that she was like, I have to leave, I'm sorry. And he's like, but I love you, but okay. Whatever. And that,
Yeah, they conveyed that in just like a meaningful look and a hug.
did a really good job. It's Frasier
good.
still was funny. I don't think this episode was as funny as number one. I think
For sure.
one was definitely
Not
funnier.
as funny.
They definitely had a lot of like plot to like wrap up and
Right.
this is the end.
But I
Yep,
think it was just as like heartfelt. It was good. It was good. It was great.
Yeah, just as
This-
smart as it always or as always had been, as it had been in the first
Yeah,
episode.
just as
the one episode I watched.
we can definitely vouch that Frasier throughout the years was definitely just as smart by only seeing the first and last episode. But I thought, one thing that I thought while watching it was when he was talking to the lady on the plane.
Uh-huh.
I thought he was landing in San Francisco and that he was going to be like, just moved here. And she's like, I had a great time talking to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, his new chapter gets to begin in San Francisco with a hot babe. She was a good looking lady.
I do think they meant to like lead you on.
Yeah, they did. They led me on hard.
They did. I thought the same thing.
I thought she was leading him
Not
directly to
knowing all the Laura Linney
the biscuit
business.
tin.
The biscuit tin, right up in there. The lid is open.
Hey, now that we've landed, how do you feel about a biscuit from my biscuit tin?
She's saying that, right? Because Frasier doesn't have a biscuit tin.
She's the one that would be saying that.
It was good.
There's another.
What else?
There's a subplot with Roz where she gets to be the boss or something.
I think Roz is the new Frasier.
Oh, is she just like the host now?
I think
That's what
I think
that's
I
how I
gathered.
understood
Yeah,
it
I
as
kind of
well.
understood that.
They're giving her the Frasier job.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think they need a new show for Frasier's spot, and so I think she's just new Frasier.
Right. That's what I thought I understood by the reactions of gay guy and bald guy in the coffee shop.
Two new characters.
Two great
we know
new characters
that we know nothing about.
that we knew nothing about that seemed to have some sort of presence in the show, and they were there in the last scene in the radio show as well.
Sure. Does anyone know the name of Frasier's radio show?
Oh,
Did we
man.
hear that at all on
No.
any of these
I don't
episodes?
think we heard it.
That's fun.
I think it's like, so what's up with Frasier Crane?
I'm listening with Frasier.
Sup with Frasier Crane?
Yeah.
We just know that his tagline was "I'm listening."
Or if Jimmy had the thing, it would be "Sup with Frasier," because he thinks that his first last name is Frasier.
They're
that
the
was
Frasier
Joe.
brothers, right?
Oh, was that Joe?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, yeah.
They're the Frasier
I know
brothers,
his
right?
name.
No, the Frasier brothers.
They're the Cranes.
There's Niles Frasier and Frasier.
Father Martin Frasier and dog Eddie Frasier, and now Daphne married to
Frasier.
Niles. Daphne Frasier.
And now David Frasier. That was the baby's name.
David Hyde Frasier.
Oh, his name is.
That's
That's
nice.
good. I didn't catch that. Oh, what else? That was it. I thought there was some great funny bits though in that episode. It wasn't maybe as funny as the first one, but the Jason Biggs opening
Oh,
yeah,
really
I forgot about
threw
that.
me for a loop. Jason Biggs opens and he's a vet.
When did
a
American-
kooky, brand new. This is his first day on the job.
When did
vet.
American Pie come out?
I want to say like 2000 or.
It had to be
American
really?
Pie came
Yeah.
out probably just before that, right?
just before
People knew who
Frasier?
Jason Biggs was based on American Pie
Yeah.
for him being in Frasier.
Yeah.
And he landed Frasier
Only-
last episode.
Only Google will
For sure.
tell.
Even though it was like...
The vet?
Yeah. I mean, even though it's just vet, that's a huge cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Probably at that time, that's actually probably a really big cameo.
Yeah. I bet he was a Frasier fan.
99.
Yeah.
American
American
Pie
Pie came
was.
Yeah.
He was almost like on
he
the
was
decline.
already down
He was already
to
on the decline.
sitcom level.
This is his last thing. He's like, I'll get on Frasier. They'll remember me.
He was
Well, when
very
did
good.
Saving Silverman come out?
Oh god, that was.
Because
That was probably
good
like 2004.
movie.
Yeah, so maybe that was it, because those were his like two movies.
I love Saving Silverman.
It's a great movie.
Oh, that is a fantastic.
I have it. Do
movie.
you just want to keep recording and watch it, and we can just talk about it?
2001.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Minnesota's own Steve Zahn.
Ah. I didn't know
Yeah.
he was in this.
I should say Bloomington. I think he's from Bloomington.
Way to go.
I can't. I don't know. Somewhere.
His family lives it.
Let's just dox Steve Zahn.
Did I have any other?
so-
he gave and he delivered Daphne and Niles' baby at
Oh,
the
yes.
beginning of the episode. They did not have a baby when we started the episode,
A lot
and there was a
happened.
lot of baby happened.
He learned how to do that by
By
having the
Jason
sex
Biggs.
with the pig. The
pie?
The pie.
He learned how to
He's like, I
deliver
know how
a
babies
baby.
are made. I know how babies are made. I've had sex with a pie in a different
Stand
movie.
aside. I'm a veterinarian. I've fucked a pie.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. It's
I
perfect.
don't know if that's true.
Oh, okay.
So at the end of this episode, it fades to black, and then it says like says something about. Oh, does it just say "Good Night, Seattle"?
Something like that. Yeah.
It has some sort of title to let us know that it's the end of the episode, and then they go to black and white photos of famous actors who must have been in the show at some
Hillary
point.
Duff.
Hillary Duff was the second one.
With Hillary Duff.
Helen Mirren was there.
Yeah. There was only
Stanley
like
Tucci.
There was
and-
only like 5.
Yeah. There was
I have
one
no
more
idea.
dude.
And none of them were dead.
It was.
Like, they
It
were.
was as if they were dead.
It,
but
it wasn't.
it was black and
It's
white
like in
photos.
loving memory of Hillary
It
Duff
would be in.
slash Hannah
Yeah, that was
Montana.
one. They were 100% in loving memory.
I thought it was careers that had died.
Oh no.
Hillary Duff.
No, Hillary Duff was 100%. Hannah Montana
2004?
was still a thing, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, nuh-uh. Wait, Hannah Montana is not fucking Hillary Duff. For one.
Not.
And by the way, it's Miley Cyrus.
Oh, whatever.
Son of a
Then what does
bitch.
Hillary Duff do?
And
What'd she do?
H Duff.
She's
what was
a-
her show? But she was in. Her show was already over by then. And like
Okay, that's fair.
03, she
But
had
in all
that
fairness,
movie.
Hannah Montana was still going on in 2004, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I wasn't super
If
wrong.
that had even started
if
by
I
then,
would have been right with
it
the
probably
person.
hadn't even started in 2004.
That's fair.
That's true.
I can't remember what H Duff's thing was, but she was in a. Anyway,
Some
it
sort of
doesn't
Disney
fucking.
thing.
That's not what we're talking. We're talking about Frasier.
Either way, she died in the world of Frasier.
Yeah, in the world of Frasier in loving memory, Stanley Tucci.
all these people.
Little side thing. I love Stanley Tucci because he's in Lucky Number 11, which is one of my favorite movies.
Is he?
He's a cop in it. He's great.
Oh man, he's just.
That's how I kind of discovered him.
He's the piano in the new Beauty and the Beast.
He plays a piano.
He literally is the piano.
That's all right. Is that the one with the
Nice.
Harry Potter girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Hermione.
Mhm.
What's her real name? Emma Granger.
Emma Granger.
That's not right.
Um,
Watson.
Emma
Emma
Watson.
Watson.
Who's Emma Granger? That's a human or a character. I'm not 100%.
I don't know, but I like Emma Watson.
Yeah,
I think she's great.
I'm not mad about Emma Watson. What am I blind?
I recently saw she was on like she was on Jimmy Fallon I think recently, and that was like her first thing was Harry Potter. She showed up to an interview and got in a major movie.
It was like
That was her first acting experience.
That was like what's Harry Potter's name?
I don't know his name.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Rodham
Nice.
Yes. Daniel Radcliffe.
Clinton. It's not funny.
Former governor of New York.
All right. Well, winding it back in.
Hannah Montana started at 2006.
There you go.
So she wasn't even on.
She wasn't on yet.
Holy bucket!
But we
baby.
already established that Hannah Montana was
Is not Hillary Duff. Yeah.
I
Let's not forget.
I think we know that now. I really enjoyed how in this last episode, Frasier was just mostly really sad and alone.
He was a sad boy.
And there was a awkward like minute where nothing even happened, and he was just him alone in his the chair had been picked up, Dad's chair. He moved his chair back.
The chair joke was good for his dad though, when his dad was like, "Oh, this chair's great."
Oh yeah,
They moved a new chair where his dad's chair.
He put his
It
other
was
chair
great.
back. But like, Frasier's sitting there sad and alone, and it's actually rainy Seattle, which I kind of noticed.
I mean, we only spent 2 days in Seattle.
We only spent 2 days, but it was sunny one of those days.
It
which
was
is
sunny. that first
surprising.
day. Yeah.
It was rainy, sad, Frasier, Seattle.
Yeah, one of my notes just says Frasier is so alone. like I needed to remember that to talk about later.
like sad Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
But overall,
Yeah.
Frasier, yay or nay?
Like good show.
Yeah,
In
I mean,
general?
like, what do you, I mean, assuming
man.
we didn't, I mean, I don't think we technically even ruined anything for ourselves right now. I think this show is still just,
man.
I think you can watch First and Last all day long on Frasier, and we can watch the rest, and I don't think we're going to ruin anything. It's almost like I want to just watch from the beginning now to find out where Laura Linney comes
Should
in.
you like maybe watch
Yeah.
the second episode and then the second last episode? And then the
This is
third
not,
episode?
we're not
Go
going
back.
to,
I want to watch from the beginning now, just to see where Roz, who dropped a bomb on me this last episode, slept with Frasier?
Oh yeah.
I mean, everyone else. I mean,
When
right?
does
Did you,
that happen?
You totally thought like good on Frasier, right? Because that was like
Good on him, man.
like Ross was doing like a social service, and Frasier was like, hell yeah.
Frasier's a good guy.
No, he's a weird looking dude.
Well, but that's not everything.
I guess he's very smart
He's very smart.
and he knows how to listen.
Charming. He has his own radio show.
Yeah.
If I was Roz, I wouldn't bang Frasier, and that's a hard stance I'm gonna take.
It's the sweater vest, isn't it?
It was a moment of weakness.
It's the fat '90s ties.
I'm sure there was a drunken night that it happened, but I just have a note. Roz and Frasier slept together! ! Question mark! ! Question mark! Roz has still got it.
All right, that's good.
I
Back
would
to
for sure watch Frasier.
back to end it though. I think we'll just end every episode kind of on this of just like this show, yay or nay. Like, did this right here? Are you like into this show, or are you just like, I could go without this? I'm personally 100% yay Frasier. I'm like, this show's like 9 out of 10 at least right now, and I think it's only going to go better if I actually watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm yay Frasier. Joe.
I think it's an interesting, like, there was definitely continuity between the first and last episode of like tone and like the types of jokes and like even the settings.
Really good bookmark.
That's impressive.
Episode.
Yeah, which is really impressive that like for 11 seasons you can kind of keep that through. But then there was still a lot that had changed between the characters and how they relate to each other. So it's like, I don't know. It seems like by just watching the first and last episode, it seems very successful as a show, and I would want to see how that works out.
I can tell already, Joe, that you're going to be 100% the voice of reason in this entire podcast. Jimmy.
Yeah. 110% yes for all those reasons.
You can only
have
give
the
100%.
same. It's too late. It's too late. I loved it. You got Frasier's all the places, where all the scenes take place, all the worlds you live in the radio show, in the apartment of Frasier, in the coffee shop. Even they were all exactly the same.
The coffee shop was in the first episode.
The coffee
too.
shop threw me a little bit because I didn't realize that was going to be such a mainstay, but it's very clearly like this is where
they
a plot
obviously went
happens.
back to that,
yeah. And I loved that.
That was good. All right, well, I think it's a unanimous decision that we all enjoy and would continue to watch Frasier. So, good on Frasier.
Good on Frasier.
Good on us.
Always remember, a handshake is as good as a hug.
Yep. Is that your prediction, that Niles becomes creepy?
The last episode surrounds like a serial killer in Seattle.
Dear Lord.
I feel suspected Niles.
I love that.